That's it. It's all over. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to my thoughts and opinions video on this amazing, really, truly incredible survival crafting, base building, and open world exploration experience in CROSSWIND. Yeah, this was a pre-alpha work in progress build that was incredible. I really thought it was great, and unfortunately, I thought it was a little too closed. For those of you who also wanted to try to get into it, we gave away a ton of keys here, but it wasn't enough. This game really, truly was amazing, really, and I hope to see more people in it in the future. Well, if you'd like to see more of this game and or this channel in your future, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Many of you watch every day, but you haven't yet subbed, so make sure you do that, turn on the notification bell, and hit that like button for more news and information on this just great example of a survival game. If you love Valheim, if you love Enshrouded, or if you love anything like, for example, Assassin's Creed, this certainly tried to combine all of those things, and it's not even like available to the public yet in terms of it being an early access game you could buy, and I think it's got a really bright future. So we're going to take a look here at a base that I built. I'm going to talk a little bit about my opinion on the combat and the ships and show you a little bit of the game, and then also show off an incredibly just out there, I mean, there's not even words to describe what you're about to see, folks, for my friend's base. If you like what I built and are impressed by it, just wait until the end of the video because it's going to just blow your mind. So without further ado, let's jump in to CROSSWIND. Here we go. Ahoy and good morning. Yeah, the sun's just coming up over our very first base that we built long ago in the game, and yeah, this game offers multiplayer, so everyone can work together to build a base and or explore islands and whatnot. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but I wanted to show off my humble beginnings in this game to show where I kind of was just basically building like little shacks here to explore the game, and fell in love with it after a few streams. The game has some really cool storage options for different types of things, like, for example, we have ourselves here some wooden crates, we have some storage bales and wooden chests, maybe perfect for storing all your, things like iron ingots or silver or whatever. Our character's been quite upgraded here from our very early days where I was in here crafting ammunition for our musket and some better armor. Our character right now is a pretty high tier, actually. I think the highest we can go currently in this build, and we just beat the final boss as well, so everything you see here has been really decked out. So there's a big wonderful like comparison here to things being day one versus end game. So this is kind of the first house that I built, and I was really surprised at how much wood was required to build in this game, and it kind of became confusing as to why the developers would require so much, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as well, about materials and things like that. But I've got to say, the appearance of all of the construction materials and how everything looks is really good. Like, it just kind of feels, I don't know, like kind of cartoony, but in a good way. It's like Sea of Thieves, but it's not. It's I don't know, it just fits, and it's not trying to be too outlandish, but it just has a theme that I think is perfect for if you think about like an amusement park, or if you think of any sort of a ride or something like that, that they've really tried to capture the essence of piracy, as this game does have also a little bit of fantasy to it too, like curses and things like that. So think a little bit of Pirates of the Caribbean, Sea of Thieves, and of course a little bit of Black Flag with the combat and building like Valheim. So essentially I built this little shack here down on the beach after kind of a little like survival hut that I had, like almost like a tent, and this was a dock where I didn't even know exactly how big this game would get. What the hell is that sticking out there? Weird. Anyway, yeah, so other friends of mine have built bonfires too. This allows us to have NPCs here on the village or wherever our base is, and then we could build multiple bases too. So this was kind of just a starter where I was like, yeah, I don't know about this game. It seems cool. But then I thought about it more and I had to play it more. So let's jump over to our main base, something that I've been building for a while. We could fast travel via either jumping in the boat or also inside of this fast travel bell. So you can see the size of the map here where there's a couple of different biomes available. This one here on the left side is called the coastal jungle. Here is the footlands or something like that, the coastal something or other. I don't know. I'll take a look in a minute. And then the swamps up here in the north. So as you can see here with our journal, if it'll give us the courtesy. Oh, here it is, the coastal jungle, the foothills, and the cursed swamps. I've got one more location to discover somewhere in the foothills, and that's where we're going now. So let's take a look at our base there. Love the transition too, very Star Wars. Okay, so this is the base I'd been building for quite some time, while also exploring and fighting all the bosses and trying to do all the quests. Our good friend Uthras focused mostly on building his base, But did a lot of the exploration and questing too to unlock more build materials, which are required in this game. But look at that. That is cool. I really kind of thought outside the box of what I usually do to try to build something here, and it turned out great. I built this, all of this here, all the cobblestone that you see is part of our pier. I built these little stairs here so I can, as I teleport, I can jump right off into the water and right up these stairs to go do what I got to do, and added a bunch of other decoration, which, as you see on the lower left side there, our comfort level is level 8. Should be 36. There's a little glitch in the game, but I'll fix that later. Regardless, the more you decorate and the more you build a base, the more comfort that you get, and that leads to longer lasting stamina, which is perfect for combat and or exploration. So if you're more into the combat, don't worry, there'll be a little bit of a reward for building your base. Now inside here I put a bunch of different trophies and decoration to, well, 1 to see, and then 2 to kind of like just put things on display and get them out of our storage boxes. But here is probably one of the best things in this game. Are you ready for this? All of your crafting benches are connected to your storage, so long as it's connected to your bonfire, and all of your construction is also connected to your storage as well. In other words, inside these boxes I have a ton of stones in here, just tons and tons of stones. And so if I wanted to build something out of stone, rather than just taking it out of the box one by one or whatever, we could actually just build right from our build menu. So if I wanted to construct something out of stone, it will pull it directly from the warehouse or wherever these different storage bins are full of stone. So if we go to building, and if I pick the medium cobblestone, look at that, I can build without any of it in my inventory. And over on the right side, you can see that there's 1,695, and it'll only take 1 to build this. So that's amazing. So it saves a lot of time by doing that. So there's a lot of great building pieces that, some of them require lumber, some of them require stone, a lot of them also require plant fiber, and those are your 3 big building materials in this game. There's also hardwood too, but that'll be used for boat building. So each of these stations here are not necessarily decorative. They're to make things like linen out of flax, which there is farming in this game too. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. And then of course all that goes together here to make all sorts of different armor. There's also a tanning bench over here too, so we were taking things like crocodile skins and like boar hides and then tanning all of that stuff and, enchanting it and other things like that as we get a little later on. There's also the ability to upgrade all your weapons and equipment, and there's even an island called Tortuga, which we'll go there a little bit later in order to buy and sell things for money, and that makes it a lot more fun to be able to take all the extra stuff, get rid of it, and buy something that you'd like to. Now, after building that warehouse there, which is pretty good, I didn't get a full chance to be able to decorate it because, I was running out of time and wanted to explore more of the game. Here, I built a little bit of a blacksmith shop and also a workshop, too. So yeah, we have ourselves some NPCs here who can actually be tasked with things like wood cutting, and you can pay them silver, which you can get by raiding enemy ships or by selling things that you don't need, like gold and silver and other things like that in Tortuga, and you can endlessly have them gather all the lumber. So this game takes an amazing amount of lumber to build anything. In fact, this base that you see here has probably been built with around maybe, I'm going to say 3,000 to 5,000 lumber. I'm not exactly sure, but it's a lot. And right here we could see like how much endless amounts of lumber this guy has been gathering for us. This is an NPC, so you could have your NPCs do this with lumber and with copper and iron. You could have them do this with seeds and with different types of plants. You can even have them go hunting, and that's pretty amazing. So that way you can continue to make good food to eat around your base. Over on the left side of the screen, you may see that I'm starving right now. And luckily in this game, starving just means that your health will be low. You won't die of starvation or dehydration. There's no none of that in this game. So it's just about maximizing your health bar from eating endo or drinking over time. Here we have two large smelters that I stuck through the window. Kind of looks like a pizza oven, doesn't it? And those have to be built outside. So I kind of, built this building to, experiment with the roofing system, which is usually hard in these types of games as well. It's always hard to build roofs in this and many other builders because, I don't know, there's so many different floor plans that you want to make, but sometimes the roof pieces won't go along with you. And I experienced that in Dune a little bit as well, but honestly, it turned out quite good. And same in this game. Now, a lot of these plants that you see around here, too, are ones that I planted. We can actually get seeds from cutting down a bunch of, like, coconut trees and ficus trees and shrubs, and we can actually plant those and decorate our base afterwards. Luckily, I got real lucky in this game with the little beach here that goes from, well, down at the beach up into the hills where I wanted to build our little tavern up there. That's called the Jolly Crocodile. We'll get there in just a moment. But I did want to make mention that this game does have terraforming. Just like in Valheim, you can grab here you can grab a shovel, and just like in Valheim, you can actually raise the land, lower the land, and even flatten it out. So it is entirely possible to be able to like build out here and flatten all this land and make like a large pier if you'd like to. And you can also dig down a little bit, and I believe make canals and things of that nature. So if you were to take a look at this map here, it might be plausible to be able to like dig a canal and drive your boat through it somewhere else. So pretty neat thing to think about, honestly. And also pretty amazing that they were able to do a little bit of terraforming, especially in a game where you're a pirate. You're going to be digging up treasure with that, and I like that. I like it a lot. I wanted to show you this farm here before we go inside the tavern, and this is a wonderful little example of how this game is a little bit different than what I've played before. All these seeds here we have to gather out in the wild. For example, this here, the healing herb seedling, this is something that we had to get from defeating like a kind of a big boss. And so some of the things in this game could be purchased like food, but a lot of the seeds you have to find out in the wild. So here we have cayenne peppers, and we have like basically potatoes, tomatoes, greens, beans, hogs, logs, you name it. But we have leek seedlings there, and we've also got some green beans over here as well. And you know, if you continuously find these in the wild, you'll get 1 seed, then 10 seeds, and 15 seeds, and you can plant all that, or you can have your gatherers do that as well. But you can only do that if you find soil at certain farms that are on the map as well, like ancient farms. You can bring this stuff back, and so that has to go on the ground, and I've kind of built some platforms around it. But then there are ways around that too. This game has a lot of systems where there's like a way to do it, but then there's also ways to basically pay NPCs to do it, and then you can pay for them to do it by going out on raids. So you can go out and board enemy ships or something like that, and essentially pay for a whole day's worth of work from them, like literally within 24 hours. Now this game works as kind of an MMO. There's like a hub world, and it does work on a clock. Like for example, the day-night cycle here is set. I can't sleep through the day-night cycle, so whatever time it is, it happens to be. And when we get a chance to go over to Uthras's place, it'll probably be a little bit later. And when we go to Tortuga, I believe it's always daytime there. But anyway, inside here in the basement, we've got some secrets, including a couple more little stations. And I was going to fill this with storage, but again, this is where our miner is and our herbalist, and I think our farmer's upstairs, and we've got a little bit of an alchemy station going down here too. I didn't get a chance to decorate a lot of this stuff. I was focusing more on finishing off the final boss, but this is where I was upgrading all the equipment that you see me wearing right now. And so this was kind of like a little bit of an armory, a little bit of an enchanting area, and an alchemist too. Kind of the area for, I don't know, witchcraft or something like that. And we also have ourselves a little kitchen here, and there's a lot of great food to make in this game. I loved it, and there was a lot of little ways to sort through these things. You can check out like what the rare foods are, what the epic foods are, and they give different bonuses. Like for example, the taco here, oh boy. Hey, put a hell yeah down below in the comments section if you love yourself some tacos or pizzas or burgers. Regardless, this taco here, the best part about it is it'll last for 30 minutes and give you 20 fortitude, which is the game's equivalent of like adding artificial armor in a way. So if you've eaten this, it'll give you some extra protection against enemies, and it'll also increase your maximum HP. So that puny little health bar in the upper left corner will fit across a lot of the screen that way. Very nice stuff. I want to go outside and go back up through the deck, the front of our little tavern here, where it's quite nice, honestly. We got a lot of little butterflies flying around this stump here. I decided to keep that. Yeah, look at the little bay window there. Isn't that nice? That's really nice. All right, we're going to go ahead and walk upstairs. And for this building, I pretty much cut down all this wood myself before I learned how a lot of the NPC systems worked. And I've got to say, I'm more delighted than ever to come on back to this game as soon as possible. There's our little crocodile up above the door. And look at that, the bar. But let's also say hello to our good friend over here, the Jolly Crocodile. One of the challenges in this game actually was to go to the swamps and kill 100 crocodiles, and that's what we unlocked there, the Jolly Crocodile sculpture, and that's what I decided to name my tavern. We also get a wise crocodile too, and he was downstairs. If you saw him in the corner, jump back into the video, and you may actually notice him over there in the corner saying hi. But this game has a lot of cool little bonus things to do, little challenges that do provide some actual cool things, like you get a ritual mask, which gives you some extra power, protection in combat. A goat hunter here gives you a trophy. So like for example, the boar's heads and the maybe the crocodile head that you saw requires those things, and then you get it as a bonus in order to you know, build and then give you an extra comfort bonus. So that's a really cool thing. Now, I've completed pretty much every objective in the game except for to go through and kill all the bosses on insane difficulty. I was able to kill the first one. I think the second boss was the most difficult, and the third one being a little bit easier, but didn't get a chance to do it on the hardest difficulty yet. But one of the things I will say for criticism for this game is that it's very hard to actually find some of these quests, to even initiate them. You don't even know that they're there. And so one day, one of the wonderful viewers during our live streams had to tell me about that there's a random boat on one of these islands where there's a skeleton in it, which is interesting because every single one of these islands has like a boat wreck all over it, so you can mine it or, well, go chop it down to get nails and also wood. And so you'd imagine all of these islands on all this coastline to search to be able to find one little boat with one little pirate in it that has a skeleton is kind of, I don't know, a little unfair and kind of annoying. Like, honestly, I think a player would walk right past that, as I had forever with hundreds and thousands of people watching, and luckily one person was able to point it out. So hopefully that changes in the future. But anyway, back onto the good stuff. Doesn't that damn bar look amazing? Yeah, if you think that's amazing, I can't wait to bring you over to Uthras's place. But anyway, yeah, so this was a nice little area where I've decorated with tables and chairs and trophies, and it looks really really nice. And over here is an area where I wanted to build a tower going all the way up to do something like alchemy or whatnot. Change of plans there, but it does go to the basement and looks quite nice. So here's our what I was going to make an inn. We have ourselves a farmer here, and I was just filling in the space with all these little stations. I didn't know that we could buy contracts for those stations, and so I didn't realize that those would be such a big thing in the game. So for future planning, we could almost make a building for each and every different job, although I'll show you how much space we get to build in just a little moment for our bonfire. This is a little jewelry station, and across from here was my bedroom as well. Not too much to decorate with at the moment, or at least that I was interested in, but hopefully we get more decorations in the future. Things like rugs and maybe paintings and other artwork will be quite nice. But it looks a little barren, but honestly there's a lot of choices here, and I didn't get a chance to put them all down. And I think the bar is a good example of what most players could do if they had a little bit of time to do it and some extra materials to spend. So looking good, actually. A lot of detail here where all these pieces are things that you could build. These little baskets here, for example, are like peppers, and there's corn over there. These barrels are literal storage, so I could put things behind the bar if I wanted to. And then there's also wine barrels and like rum bottles and some drying herbs and other things like that. So not bad. Looks very cool and quite bright too. I honestly like a lot of lighting in this area, especially because, you know, when nighttime comes, it's quite dark, and I don't know, it's just nice to see every little nook and cranny when it comes to that. So that's pretty much my base, and that's pretty much my tour of everything I was able to build over time. And I've got to say, I really enjoyed the base building here, and there's a lot of things that could be better in terms of base building. Like if you take a look here at the Discovery tab, you can see here that there's a lot of things that you can discover in each of the different biomes. And so in order to build a nice base, you have to find all of these schematics here, and if a player doesn't find a lot of these things, you might not be able to build with leaf windows and doors, or with ironware. A lot of these things are for decoration and for upgrading your comfort bonus. But as you go on, you know, you get a lot of different things unlocked that might make you go back and change your base. And that's a little annoying. But a lot of games are like that too, where in the beginning of Valheim, you only start with wood and like flint, and then eventually move up to copper. And by the time you're done, you're already building things out of iron and different types of fur and cloth and whatnot. So yeah, so here's some other things that we can find. Some pendants. Those are really great for the combat. There's a lot of in-depth thought here that's not yet complete for your character in terms of making gear, upgrading gear. You can also go buy other types of gear. For the most part, you're pretty much making everything, but you can buy some things too. And I thought it was just really great. So we made a power insignia thing here. There's also a stat screen. A lot of this is incomplete or inaccurate, but it does seem like there'll be at least a lot of things to consider before you go into a boss battle. So, you know, like what you're wearing in terms of your rings, and what you're eating in terms of your food, to then go with what type of weaponry you want. Like, for example, here I have the Rapier of 1,000 Cuts, and I've also got a weapon here, the Infected Musket, that life steals from the enemy, so I'm actually able to heal myself the more damage I do to the enemy from this, and then I'm also able to jab the enemy and do some bleed damage while I fall back. So it's really trying to make ourselves almost like a self-healing mage in a way, or something like that. I don't know. But with a group of players, if we all went into combat, which I haven't had the chance to do just yet, somebody could pull aggro and, you know, then everybody can unload on the boss and or use their summon like this. There's actually a summon in the game that you can find. Truffle here is a really useful friend. This summon here has been really good at distracting the enemy and protecting us while we're doing things like mining and logging. Unfortunately for this pre-alpha, this was the only summon I found. It would be great to have maybe a wolf or something like that from the highlands or the foothills, and then a crocodile from the swamplands. But I really wanted to quickly just show you another biome here too. They're all very diverse. What you saw or what you see here is kind of how the first area looks all the time. It's just endless amounts of beaches and flat land with different boars and things like that. But here we've got ourselves the foothills, which then has different resources. So here's where we're going to find flax and tomato, and we can also find some big trees that we could maybe build a tree house around. And there's different types of enemies here. So on the beach, you know, we have dodo birds, but as we get off, we have goats and we have wolves, and then there's other types of pirates here too. So all these worlds and biomes have a lot of different threats to them and things that you can find. Here's some flax there, and then of course if we pick that, we'll be able to get that material, but then we could also get seeds for that. So quite good. But anyway, I wanted to show you the swamp too, and then I wanted to show you our good friend Uthrus's house as well. Now I've got to say that I think at the moment this is only 4-player multiplayer, but it's got to be more. It's got to be more. And just to go back to what I was mentioning about this bonfire too before I forget, just think of Frostpunk. If you've ever played Frostpunk before, think of the bonfire as being like the generator in Frostpunk, and your area around that is like a giant circle. So the further away you get, there's no difference, but it's just kind of like this is your build limit from here. Now you are able to build outside this zone, but as you can see, if I step out of it, it stops pulling from the base. So I could actually build like a palisade or something here at the border just outside. But this is all the space that you're allowed to build it now. And this is perfect for like 4 players to build along a beach. Maybe everybody could build here in this communal area where you could build a blacksmith and a storage area or a tavern to, you know, share things with everybody else. But then everybody's welcome to build their own bonfire and their own base too. So you could have like a giant pirate city, a large area with a blacksmith and some other public buildings, and then everybody gets a chance to build their own house and put their own things on display. Another thing that I've noticed in the beta, and I'm sure this will be fixed a little bit later, but there does seem to be some incredibly long loading times between the main menu and the game, and also when we go to Tortuga, or anytime that you're leaving the map, for example, there's a long load period. And also when you load in, as you saw before, we were at level 8 for the bonfire. Now we're at level 36, so there does seem to be some minor glitches. These are things I think they'll fix, or that they're aware of, that they didn't want to fix during this beta because they're busy making a game and maybe getting feedback for a different version, so not too bad there, I think. But I wanted to also show you the swamp biome, just to show you how different things look. And there's our frigate. Oh yes, a little surprise for you too. This is the biggest ship in the game, and it actually has 3 decks. You are completely capable of doing boarding of enemy ships. Like, you can pull up alongside and literally board the enemy ship yourself and shoot people with your musket and fight them with rapiers and things like that too. And your crew eventually will be visible. Right now the crew is not visible in this version of the game, so if we set sail, you won't be able to see them. But what's amazing here is that they've actually detailed 3 decks of this ship, and there are other ships that we can board for Blackbeard, like a cutter. There's also a transport ship, and then this, a heavy frigate is what they call it for Blackbeard's forces, and you can fight through all these decks. And then when you've cleared it, the naval battle, they're quite good, and hopefully we can show you one of those. But honestly, it's pretty simple, and if you're familiar with Black Flag, it looks pretty much like that. You can grab the helm here, and then you can see how massive this ship is. You can hit force base and actually see the force slash, and see how much bigger this ship is than we are. Look at that boat down there versus how large this ship is. Now, one fun thing about this game too is that you can level all the trees on the beach. So I'm not going to let you leave without seeing how these cannons fire off. We're going to fire some cannonballs, but check this out. We do have the option for multiple ammo, and I'm not sure how ammo is going to work in this game in terms of, so we can make cannonballs, or either we can make them, or we can buy them, or we can make bar shot as well, like chain for ripping up the mass. And we can also make gunpowder in this game too, but I'm not sure how in-depth the ship customization will be. At this moment, this ship here was purchased, and you just need to bring some planks and some other things to a guy, as well as some money, and then this ship is yours. But I really am hoping for ship customization, where not only can we add maybe different type of deck guns or guns to the ship itself, but also do things like paint it and change the sails and whatever else. You know, all your cosmetics should be here, as well as maybe the ability to bring that boat along and put some different things inside the ship, as well as with your summon, getting a parrot or a monkey or something on your shoulder that could help with combat would be a lot of fun too, or just cosmetic. But let's let her rip. We've got ourselves a bunch of guns here. I think we've got 6 guns on the top deck, 12 on the bottom, and then of course it's the same on this side too. So your port, which is your left side, and your starboard, which is your right side, both have those guns. And let's go ahead and let her rip. We're gonna see if we can knock down these trees. And this is a great method too. If you got a ton of wood and you just need to get rid of some trees real quick to build a base, this is a great way to do it. Let her rip. Hell yeah. Oh, and you can see we're actually knocking some trees down. I went a little high on that one, but it usually takes a couple volleys. So yeah, this ship's pretty damn sweet, and we'll do the same on this side too. Let's just see what happens over here. Pretty awesome. Right up ahead is a heavy frigate there, and there's the swamp biome in there, as you would imagine, has some low water. There's alligators in there, and I'll get into some combat in just a minute. But let's go ahead and board an enemy ship real quick, because I want to show you what that looks like. And we'll come back to this boat and attack the swamp creatures here in just a moment. But yeah, so this ship seems to be heading southeast. We're going to go ahead and turbo it up a little bit. We'll use our boost here. Make sure we go full sail. And the more damage that you do to an enemy ship before you board it, the less crew that you'll have to fight in order to take it over. Now, right now I have some pretty low health, but we're going to put some volleys on this guy, and then we're going to board. Now, at the bottom, you can see a repair option. From what I understand, timber will be used in order to repair your ships, so you won't be able to endlessly do combat without having to pay for it. You'll have to pay for it by cutting down trees that produce hardwood, and then producing, I think, timber out of that, as they call it, a little different than lumber, which will then have to be used on your ship for repair. And there's just an itty-bitty box that we get to store things, so I hope it'll be different in the future. There's a lot of things here subject to change. I think a lot of this is just a first concept of, hey, what do you think? Here's what we made so far. We hope you love it. All right, the heavy frigate is essentially the equivalent of us, and they're not going to shoot at us until we shoot at them. So let's go ahead and make sure on our... I'll wait for that option just a little bit. We're going to try to get real close here. That other frigate could help and come to assist, but I think he's a little too far away. There's also cutters in the game. I did mention that, and we'll take a look at that as well. It is tiny in comparison to this ship, but just think of, like, you know, in Sea of Thieves, the biggest ship versus what's the tier 1, the sloop. Big difference in those games. All right, we're going to come alongside, and in order to catch this ship, too, we have to boost. I mean, there's no way to catch this guy because we both travel at literally the same speed, so if he's moving away from us, we'll never catch up. We're going to plow right into him. This is the Riker maneuver, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off our turbo sail, and we're just going to come alongside. He's not going to care about it, but we're going to use him to turn us and come right alongside. Perfect. Look at that. Just, oh, beautiful. Like a glove. Like a glove. So what I want to do now is, since we're kind of steaming towards that little rock over there, I'm going to give him a little volley. Just a couple. Just a couple, 2, 3. And this will kill some of the enemy crew. And we're going to board. Now, ideally, you want to get them down to their last bar, but I didn't want them to get away. And we're going to go ahead and reel them in there. There's different ammo types for our muskets, too. There's, like, enchanted. Right now, we have iron bullets, so we'll just use that. And our crew will spawn, and so will theirs. So we need to kill 10 enemy troops and 3 commanders in order to take their ship over. So some of these guys might not fight back. Again, this is kind of, you know, early concept or whatever. It's fine. But anybody who comes across, yep. Just, oh, damn. Oh, this guy wants to fight. Let's go. Come on, sailor. Let's go. Let's have a fight, sir. No? Okay. How about you? They're probably disoriented after being volleyed like that, but I'll fight whoever. Oh, no, I fell. What am I going to do? Okay, we're back on board. No big deal. All right, well, let's slice and dice then. So fighting like this is pretty chaotic. I mean, there's things going on everywhere. People running around everywhere. And we're about to win this battle. And our rapier is great. Look at that. We got some bleed damage on this guy, so he's taking continuous damage right there. Yep. And he's down. Now, there's a whole blocking system in this game, too. Let's see if we can get somebody to try to attack us. Oh, good. We got hit a little bit. So if we get damaged, we have our life steal. I can go ahead and use that. There we go. Hit him in the foot. Sure. Whatever. And, yeah, so there's kind of like a perfect block parry system where you can, there we go, lower their shield. And that will then make it so you can do a lot more damage to them. It's kind of hard to show off now, but you get the idea. We need to find one more enemy commander, which is a sergeant. There he is. Let's see if we can cut through to that guy. Oh, and they're giving up. Excellent. So as these guys were swinging their swords at us, if we time the block, we can lower their shield and then do more damage. What's interesting in this combat, too, is as we block, you know, we can dash like this, too. But if we go to block, our stamina won't rebuild. And another thing to consider is that that comfort bonus. We kind of lost that in the lower left corner because I think we were still at the level 8 bonus. But stamina is everything here. So the little kind of hexagon symbol that's closest to the sword, that one there indicates our stamina. And then, of course, food will increase our health bar. And then there's other things like, you know, a potion that we can take to lower our damage, that we can take incoming damage, as well as putting weapon oil on our sword to make it do more damage too. So here's where we find equipment or, you know, loot or whatever for the enemy. Here we get 400 silver. Look at that, 14 silver ingots, and then we also get some loot too. So not too bad. We can right click on that to open it up, and we can do that back at base or now whatever. We can sell that in Tortuga. It's all good. I've been told by other players that there might be more loot below deck. But for now, you know, we're just gonna say it's all good. It's also telling us to return to our ship, so we're gonna do that too. And sir, if you could move out of the way, I appreciate that. Sorry. Okay, let's go ahead and head back then. So that's all we got to do. And of course, you can fight in the cutter. You can fight with the little boat if you want to. If you're that daring, go right ahead. So anyway, that's that. Let's go ahead and jump back to the boat then. And well, actually, I summoned the boat here. My bad. My B. But it's okay. I wanted to show you what some of the combat here look like. There's our cutter. Excellent. It gets pretty cluttered, by the way, as we have a cutter, a black cutter, which we're looking at now, the frigate, which we were just on, and the boat that we're on now, too. So, and, of course, you can spawn those in a friend's map. So if you happen to do that, you'll have to kind of respawn them here. But, yeah, I wanted to show you what some of the swamps and how dangerous these areas will get for just a quick moment. So check this out. This is the coastal area, similar to where we started. Here's some orchids here. Those are used for making alchemy potions, and I think same here with this bromelia here. But yeah, there's the swamps. Now, swamp trees here, you cut those down. That'll give you some resin. There's also some fireflies there. That helps to make our fire potion. But there's a good old crocodile in here that we see every once in a while. Mini a crocodile, actually. Goal, remember, is to kill 200 of those to unlock that thing. But yeah, we've gotten real upgraded, so we can deal with those guys no problem. So yeah, the swamps are quite fun. There's some tribesmen in here, some thralls, some hunters, and some warriors. They're very dangerous. There's one of them right there. We're going to go ahead and try to fight this guy real quick. We'll try to get some blocks in if we can. Hold on, sir. Got a couple of them coming. We're going to just deal with these guys one at a time. There we go. All right, and I'm going to try to block on this guy if we can. Just need to get our stamina up a little bit. There is also a way to lock the camera to these guys by pressing T, but I've always just kind of preferred it not to do the lock. And this guy's a little slow with his attack, so I'm just going to finish him off. But anyway, there's points of interest in this game. Ancient ruins, like now we've cleared this out, and we can get some loot from here. And there's different quests that bring you here. There's things that are hidden in the walls. You'll see them. They'll look like shiny chests sometimes. Some of these times you can only loot them once, but other times you can come back every 12 hours. And so I've marked the map with locations. You see here where there's these you know, these chests. That's where we can go back every 12 hours. They're kind of like quote-unquote hidden temples that we have to find by exploring. And there's plenty of enemy out there, including that giant tree monster, but I don't see him around at the moment. So anyway, let's get out of here. We're going to head back to the west and see if we can get to the shoreline. And then I think it's time we go see Tortuga and then our good friend Uthrus's base. So the next time you see me, we'll be on board the cutter and we'll be heading into Tortuga just to take a little peek at it. Let's go. Now, do you remember when I told you that the frigate was the biggest ship that we had? Well, that's not the biggest ship in the game. This here is the cutter, and over there is what they call the battleship. Look at that damn thing. That's crazy. We're here off the island of Tortuga right now, where that is a big old battleship that I think just kind of sits here as, I don't know, a patrol or protection of the island. And I haven't yet shot at this thing. I don't know what will happen, but here in Tortuga is kind of the hub world of where we can go to buy and sell things and even do some PvP, but don't get excited. The PvP, well, it's basically, oh, and technically Tortuga's a PvP area too. We'll talk about that, but yeah, so the PvP area is just an open ocean for players to do naval battles against each other if they want to. And one thing we've noticed in the multiplayer is that you can't really get on a friend's ship like this and be able to, you know, fight with them and Sea of Thieves style. Everybody has to bring their own ship. So if they all want to participate, everybody's got to put up their, you know, their ship essentially to, you know, be able to be in the fight. Now, there are ways to get on board a friend ship and be able to get on top of the deck, but you can't really do anything. And remember, the crew is invisible at the moment. They are, of course, going to be adding them so you can see them working and doing things like firing the cannons. But yeah, it'll be more impressive, I think, if we have more options to either have everybody on the same ship. Like, you know, if you're working with your friends all on a battleship, that'd be cool for boarding, because if two battleships were going to fight, you want to be side by side with your friends, because if you have 4 friends, maybe only one person can board another battleship before it's just too cluttered with ships to be able to have everybody like board another ship with their own. There's, you know, like kind of two big sides to a ship, so yeah, that makes it a lot easier. But anyway, battleship's very cool. This is the island of Tortuga, and this is our cutter, and this is just amazing. Looks gorgeous. I'm gonna pull in here, and this is a great spot for you to be able to buy and sell things. And there's also some quests here too, including that is where we get our frigate and turn in a quest for, you know, paying off a guy and giving a bunch of planks to him, as well as tarred planks, to be able to give them what they need to build it. Anyway, we're just going to go ahead and plow into the dock. There's no real consequence here for, you know, bopping or plowing into things. There's no damage like that, but just wanted to show that off, that that's just a thing. And there you go. So we can summon our boats at any time too. Like if our boat goes away, one thing I should mention is that we can literally summon a cutter like right there. Well, sometimes it's different in Tortuga, but yeah, so you can summon your boat, your ship, anything, pretty much anywhere, although it is tricky from time to time to get that gigantic frigate to spawn because it's so huge. You might have to, you know, take your boat to your cutter and then sail your cutter out into the ocean a little bit just to spawn the frigate. But a great thing is with those fast travel points, the boats also act as a fast travel point, so yeah. Anyway, Tortuga is amazing because the developers, for the most part, have used assets that the players can use to build their own buildings here. There's a few things that maybe you haven't noticed in my build so far, but there are pretty much a lot of parts from what we've gotten in unlocking things. And maybe more of these will come along soon. But we have people here to buy and sell goods from, people to take a couple of quests from, and the developers did some nice work in putting like a little storehouse here that's chock full of tons of boxes and crates and barrels and things like that. So it looks good, and there was a lot of lighting in there too. Now, I don't think I've ever seen Tortuga at nighttime, so it's always going to be a daytime thing here. But I really like this island, and the way to navigate to it is interesting. We're going to go back out to our boat here and see if we can grab... I don't know, let's see if we can summon him over here. I don't know if he'll cooperate with us. I think the answer is probably no, but let's just go ahead and try that real quick. Cutter Black over here. Nah, he's already spawned, so we'll go over there. But essentially, later in the game, when you beat the second boss, you'll unlock a navigator, and that navigator then unlocks the ability to come here. Now, currently in the game, what you saw at the very start, there were 3 biomes, right? The 3 areas I showed you, including the swamps there at the end. And that's just, I think, like map number 1. I think every time that they'll be doing more expansions to the map, or really the way I would do it is, oh, there's another player right there. Check that out. Oh, cool. That's actually another player coming on in. Although we can't see their... Oh, yeah, we can. All right, they're on their cutter. Nice. Maybe that's somebody I know. But, real quick, by the way, side note, I have noticed that players are able to ambush each other in the Tortuga area. You can actually summon your truffle, your friend, and it'll attack other players as if they were an enemy, and you can kill them. So sometimes when people come here to Tortuga, this is a PvP only area, but people have been able to ambush everybody with truffle and then try to take their gold as they're coming in to sell things. So whomever's pulling in here, we could ambush them and stop them from selling goods if they were going to do that. We could do that. But anyway, yeah. So let me go ahead and jump back on this boat here. So yeah, I think the way that the map system is going to work is just like this. If we go to Voyage, you can actually see that the map zooms out, and that's where we started there at Archipelago. So I can hit space and go there, and there you can see it has the biomes of the coastal jungle, highlands, and also it should say the swamps. But it does make it possible that there could be much more out there to be able to then have to start over to go to a whole different area where you'll have to leave your base because it's so far away. Like the Caribbean is a massive area. So, to be off the coast of, I don't know, what you would find off the coast of Mexico versus Cuba versus wherever else they want to bring you. Hell, maybe even to the southeast, like, I don't know, east coast of the United States at some point. Like, who knows? Maybe we'll go to, like, Boston for some reason like that, Maybe there'll be a way to build a city or something like that because it all kind of ties in with Maryland maritime travel. I don't know. Anyway, I'm open to anything, and so I hope there that, like, the Devil's Throat, which is a PvP area, I hope we just get a lot more. Let's go ahead and return to the archipelago, and we're going to go over to Uthris's archipelago now. So let's check it out. Prepare to be blown away, ladies and gentlemen. Our good friend Uthris, whom you can find down below in the description, has built a damn near masterpiece in this game. Look at that. This dude made this. Yeah, it's a lighthouse, hotel, casino. I don't know. They might have an internet connection up there, but it's amazing. Check this out. So we're in kind of the same biome I was in when we built our base, and he found a beautiful rock to build his kind of lighthouse on. And inside there's a tavern, as you'd imagine, and of course a little inn. And he's got the same idea I did with building all of your different stations as kind of rooms for your people. Now remember, he hasn't had all the time in the world to finish this as he would, so please excuse the crudeness of his highly detailed and meticulous planning here, but it looks amazing. So check out the detailing here. This is what's possible when you really spend a lot of time in this game. He's experimenting with some terraforming here and has more ideas to build, I think, a little treehouse up there if there were more time. But check this out. An amazing job with the thatch roof here, reed roof, bay windows, lighting, of course, cobblestone supports, and even a little bridge that connects the tavern here, which I think is called the Shady Corner, to the rest of the place. So incredible. Really great verticality here. The tower, there's even cannons in here and a few other things. We're going to go take a look right now. So let's go ahead and start with the just the most amazing piece of this whole setup, the tavern. It's really nice. A great job with flying buttresses like rafters here. You see all the decorations in the corners. The windows are all interactable too, which is not his doing, but from the developers. They did some things like that where most of these can open, but the bay window here on the outside you can see just from the inside, and yeah, it really shines in nicely on all the tables. And it's really great to be in here during a storm. You can hear it outside while you're in here all cozy. He's got his cooking station there in a fireplace that he's made with the ram up top, and did that all real nice. So a very highly detailed space, as well as the back of the bar here too. Check this out. There's a bar you can actually pull up to, and he's got like cooking recipes out here. He's even got like a little service window for the kitchen, which again isn't complete, but it doesn't matter. This is mind-blowing, jaw-dropping. It's crazy. We've got some pans over there, mugs, things hanging up on top, and even a little gift from me. I gave him this little clay table thing here, I don't know, full of herbs and stuff like that. So inside here is the alchemy room. Even though this is kind of a beautiful example of what can be built in this game, it still has to be functional. So he was using this to make all of his potions and other things to stay alive longer in the actual swamps. Out here, there's a walkway that goes around, and you can see a little bit of a walk to a cannon, which looks cool. It looks all rusty, and I don't know what his plans would be around this to maybe complete this with wood or something later on, but always building, always improving, always adding things. So that's an example of one thing you could do, I guess, for decoration. And then this is underneath the bridge that you saw before. And look at these beautiful bay windows. Another one that was just on the other side just before we went out there. So looks like he's storing some things here. Let's go back in for just a quick second here. I wanted to see that little bay window. That's kind of this area here, which kind of hard to tell that it is a bay window, but gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. All right, if we want to go upstairs, we have to go outside. We're going to go back the way we came up here, back to this stairwell. But this time, we're going to go up instead of back down where we started. And by the way, before we go, just look at that. I mean, all the support beams and things like that, like a large kind of a foundation built into the cliff, and then all the structures on top of that. And some wonderful ficus trees here to really make things look good. And the trees in this game look great, like all the other plants and vines and ivy and things growing on. That really brings it to life. Looks really, really good. So up the stairwell here, we have a area that's, again, incomplete. Probably the most incomplete area so far, but it's just some walls in order to store all the stations that are here. So the weaponsmith, we got our armor area, and there's even a deconstruction station here too, as well as some stations for the other workers to go gather, and another cooking station up here, so that way food is easily made from multiple locations. We got a bedroom in here. I think it's just a simple respawn point, and then there's a loft up here too, which again is incomplete. And the biggest difficulty he has had is building this roof, which is why you kind of see it being incomplete. At the time, he was also out of town, so he didn't get a chance to finish everything before the end of the beta. But I think, or the pre-alpha, this is pretty outstanding with the opportunity to build like another loft up here for even more storage and other things, other crafting benches that could unlock over time. But look at how complex the roof is here. To be able to see this in and outside at the same time is just like near impossible. So he did a great job of knowing what it looked like on the outside while also trying to do some detailing on the inside. So this is all kind of like his private quarters and possible bedroom that could expand upstairs. Pretty nice. And then of course the crafting area here, and then a right now we're above the alchemy table that you saw before, and look at that pillar that goes all the way up to the middle, to the ceiling there. This is a beacon where he built his bonfire up top, and again, if you remember from what I showed you before, this is where your base expands from. So he's got all these support beams for this spiral staircase all the way to the top, and I don't know what's going on here. These guys are freaking out, but yeah, this looks really nice. He put a little stone barrier around his bonfire, and it's just a wonderful little lighthouse and a great way to see all the way around the island and down to his buildings down there. Look at how great that roof looks. That's amazing. And then, of course, out to the ocean, too. You can see a whole nother island from here. I think I can see my server from here. That's how high this place is. Pretty amazing work, really. So that's just the tower of the tavern. Let's go over to the other building. Oh, yeah, that's right. There is more. There's more to this one. We're going to go back outside, and then we're going to go across the walkway here, just around this beautiful curve to an area where it's the covered bridge. So right here, there's a great opportunity to build maybe some outdoor seating or some other crafting benches. I don't know exactly what could go here, but it looks great. And, you know, like a great amount of space to build something there, and is covered with sheets and things like that up top. So good looking stuff. Inside here, there's a drop at about, I think this is a 26-degree angle, and this leads to some other rooms that are planned to be for an inn. So this would be a, you know, bedroom for guests, and then, of course, there will be another bedroom down there. I think there's 3 rooms in total here. More detailing there with the little table and the open book. And then there's 2 more rooms down here that I love their shape, by the way. They're like kind of triangular with a little bit of square to them. It reminds me of some of the rooms in Kingdom Come Deliverance. I don't know why, but there's another one here. And again, some more workstations in here for the woodcutter. I think this guy was using so much wood that Uthras actually had 2 workstations going for him. So pretty damn impressive. I mean, to be using that much wood to where he had to cut himself I don't know, 250 wood per, I don't know, every 10 minutes or something, however much he was burning through, plus having to have 2 AI do it. That's pretty damn impressive. So that is the tavern themselves, but we're going to go back out this way, and I wanted to show you one more thing. That's kind of the whole building together. If we can get over this way. Actually, how do we, is there a way to go down? I think we could drop down here, but I don't know if there's actually a door out here. No, not yet. But this is the farm, and he did a really nice thing by putting a bunch of cobblestone down here and then his fertile soil to then grow all the different crops. I think this will have to be a little bit bigger eventually. I think in this game you're going to have to build some really big farms, but it doesn't matter because once you get all the workstations, you can make up for everything that you need. So yeah, again, farming in this game too is essentially like building. One thing I really like in this game is that when you go to plant something, you do it like this. You're just clicking one by one. It's kind of tedious, but all plants grow within the hour. So you can actually plant a plant just like this, and then come back in an hour, and you should be able to, be able to harvest it. I guess I can't do it for now. You have to delete the bond. It's that bonfire issue again that I showed you. But basically, all your seeds are here, and then you could make lattices and plant trees and things like that from the farming menu. So they have to be, one by one. You have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. It takes a while, but again, there is a farming station for that, or you just give it to, I guess, the friend who wants to farm the most. Pretty amazing. Well, speaking of farming, again, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button, and let's rock it over 1,000 new subscribers and 1,000 likes for our good friend Uthris. This video was really just kind of me wanting to say, hey, I liked the game and it was very cool, but I'm very proud of my friend for being able to do so much in so little time, and for inspiring me and other creators as well, Lumberjack Samurai, Dirty, and a few others you may have seen like Red, to try to build better bases. And this is just everybody having their own ideas and things, but I'm always inspired by what he builds, and I think I've become a better builder by seeing what is possible and really believing in myself. So I believe you yourself will find a link for his channel down below in the description, and I'm sure you'll subscribe to him today. The guy plays a lot of Valheim, maybe some Enshrouded there, but definitely some vintage story of the future. So if you like yourself some very hardcore, let's say caveman survival simulators, where you have to go through the ages of the Copper Age, Iron Age, and whatnot, that's going to be one to watch. And so is his channel for the future of this amazing game, CROSSWIND, ladies and gentlemen. That is all the time I have for the pre-alpha, closed alpha, whatever you want to call it, and it's been quite a ride. So I'm really happy that I was able to get through a big majority of the game, really a lot of this one, and then also see what some other players have been able to build. So a big special thanks as well to our good friend Arctic J and BK, who joined me as much as they could after I had gotten started, and this is certainly a game that's going to take a lot of your time. So add it to your wish list on Steam. No actual release date time at the moment, but of course custom character creation and a few things are already here. I just need to see a lot more. So the sun sets on another wonderful open world survival crafting game, and it'll come on back sometime soon. And I hope you do too. So I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and goodbye. Wait, is that the last dodo?